when I speak with people who are thinking about getting a dog and they're wondering what dog breed should I get, because there's hundreds of dog breeds and there's hundreds of mixes of dog breeds out there, is take the dog breed that you're interested in or the combination that you're interested in and look at their heritage. What were those dogs specifically bred to do? What are the genetics?
Yeah.
Because genetics don't disappear.
No, you cannot train away genetics.
Exactly.
And they don't go away on their own. So if you get, what does this mean? If you get a Jack Russell Terrier, what are you thinking about genetically with that dog?
Genetically, that terrier was bred to go to ground, which means to dig around and go into holes and to basically get rid of vermin by killing the vermin.
Yeah.
So a Jack Russell has been bred for generations and generations and generations to take on a rat or take on a groundhog or take on a badger. So they're tough dogs.
Yeah, they need to be.
Right.
They would be ill-equipped to do the job that they were bred for if they were worried or soft or not willing to, answer to the fight, right?
Yes. So a farmer who has Jack Russells, 300 years ago for vermin control, he's not going to keep a dog that is afraid of fighting.
Yeah,
he's going to keep the feistiest ones. So he wasn't worried about pet temperament. He was worried about a working temperament.
Yeah, absolutely.
And even though we've gotten away from those sports, that's still in the dog.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and there's a lot of effort to preserve those characteristics in breeds. We love our breeds for a reason, right? I have very specific and pointed reasons for loving tollers and going back to the Nova Scotia Duck Tolling Retriever over and over and over again. Sometimes I think, maybe I'll get a lab. It'd be fun to get a lab, or maybe I'll get a Malinois, or maybe, there's a lot of times where I think, I like this breed. I would love to play around with that breed, but I continue to come back to the toller because the traits of the toller really match me.
Right.
And I really love the traits of the toller, and I'm not good with change. Those are the reasons. Change is hard. I like having my little red dogs. Right. But one day I might have a different breed that I bring home with the dogs. But I like to have two, so it's hard
I bet too you would stick maybe within the retriever group.
I probably would.
You? Or at least the hunting breeds? Yes.
I always say if I wanted something a little bit tougher, I'd probably end up going with a Chessie because I love doing field work and I love bringing out that drive in the dog. And you can only compete with certain breeds in field work in hunt tests or working certificate tests, etc. So on Sunday of this week, I ended up staying home on my property, and I have 12 acres, and it's a recent acquisition. So I've been exploring different areas of it. I keep finding different little nooks and crannies and different little ponds that I wasn't expecting to see. There's a lot of wetland on the property, so there's all these little awesome areas, and I'm excited to set up field training setups in them. So I've been exploring a lot, and Sunday, it was such a beautiful day here, very unseasonably warm in Ontario right now in February.
Yes, we're having early spring, it feels like, but I know there's going to be second winter's going to be coming.
Absolutely. And I spent, I think, probably 7 hours on Sunday just wandering around my property. Right. I took a little break midway through the day because I was a little bit chilly, and we came inside and, we had some lunch, and then we went right back out again. And I thought, if I had, not to single out toy poodles or anything like that, but if I had a little toy poodle that didn't like to get their feet wet, this would be a terrible life for that dog.
Right?
You know, we're when I came home at the end of the day, I had burrs in my hair. My mucker boots were covered in mud and water. Ned was breaking through the ice to go swimming. It was a lot of mess. Right. It was a lot of fun. Yeah. I had a blast. Ned had a blast. We just fit in that way, right? Yes. We have no problem getting lost for an entire day wandering around and just exploring the world,
And as something you mentioned, too, about the coat, Ned's coat is built for that. Yeah. And he will dry off and shed the dirt. Oh, yeah. And that's the way he is. But some of these mixes that we see, you're mixing two different coat types. And these coats just tend to mat when they get wet. They don't shed dirt. And, if you had one of these dogs and it had a lot of coat, you might have came back to a huge grooming mess. Yeah. And now instead of just enjoying, the evening relaxing, you're madly trying to detangle, get mats out, get burrs out, just because the coat type doesn't mesh that lifestyle.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a lot more with lifestyle than just thinking about the energy level. That is an excellent point. And I mean, with Ned, he was a mess, but he was dry. Right. I mean, that's another thing. Like he goes in on his own to say, okay, this ice is in my way. Get out of my way so I can go swimming. Like he's happy to be in there.
Right.
He's not cold at all. He comes out, he shakes, and he's practically dry because he's purpose built for that.
Right.
Right. He's purpose built to do that sort of work in the oceans on Nova Scotia. Right. So it is something that is suitable for him, which is great. If I had a dog that had a really short coat, you know, if I had a Whippet, for example, and I liked exploring in the winter, my Whippet's probably not going to be the best breed for that.
No, it's not going to be very happy.
Cold, hardy dogs, you know. And I love Whippets and I love toy poodles, so nothing against either of those breeds at all. And I've seen some pretty good mucker toy poodles as well that really like to get down and dirty, so they might fit, but...